Call this meeting of the CRB for May 5th, 2026 to order. Do we have microphones? Thank you. Welcome to everybody. I'd like to welcome our new city manager, Michael Giordano. Thank you for being here. Members of the press, thank you for being here. At this point, I'd like to pass it over to Pastor James for a short prayer. You open up. Thank you.
Let us pray. Eternal Master and our God, we thank you for your many wonderful blessings. We thank you for this beautiful day that you have allowed us to just partake in, Lord God. You've kept us from all hurt, harm, and danger and brought us to this time. Now, Lord God, we pray that you would give us wisdom that we might go in the direction that you would have us to go in this meeting with the CRB tonight, Lord. Bless the members, bless their families. Keep us in your will and in your care. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. And roll call, please.
Chair McChrystal?
Here.
Vice Chair Moser?
Here.
Board Member DeBerard? Here. Board Member James?
Here.
Board Member Laughlin?
Here.
Board Member Manera?
Here.
And Board Member Whalen?
Here. Can I get a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll move.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a move and a second. Any public comment on the motion? All in favor? Aye. I'd like a motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
I'll move.
I have a motion and a second. Okay. At this point, we will stand for the pledge.
Could we vote on that, Chair, before? Could we vote on the minutes?
Yeah, let's vote on the minutes real quick.
Can we vote on the minutes, please?
Yes.
I thought we did. No, we just call.
All in favor? Nope, all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any comments from the public on any non-agendaed item?
I have none, Chair.
All right, let's move to comments from board members. Any comments? None?
Nope.
All right. Action items. Our first action item, item 2, is a quasi-judicial hearing. Lee, would you like to read the item?
Absolutely. So this is a minor urban code conditional use for a mural on Flagler Park restrooms located at 221 Southwest Flagler Avenue. It's resolution number 02-2026 CRB, a resolution of the Community Redevelopment Board of the City of Stuart, Florida, granting a minor conditional use approval for public art mural named Heritage Vitalis on a property located at 221 Southwest Flagler Avenue, as described within the attached legal description, granting approval to paint a mural on the exterior southern, western, and eastern wall of a building, providing an effective date and providing for conditions of approval and for other purposes. I just wanted to point out, to remind the board that this is a public art, so you guys are the final decision and not making a recommendation on this one.
Thank you, sir. Board members, do you have any ex parte communications?
No,
I do not.
I do not.
I did, Candace Callahan brought it up briefly a couple weeks ago at coffee, but we didn't get into details of the project.
And I have none. All those giving testimony, please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn in by our attorney, Lee. Thank you, Lee.
You affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You may be seated.
And staff, do you have a report? Do you have a item for us?
I do. I have a presentation.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, CRB board members. Jordan Pinkston, CRA Program Manager for the record. Today, I'm going to be presenting a mural matching grant application from Stuart Main Street. This application is proposing a mural on the walls of the public restroom building located in Flagler Park. The application is processed with a minor co-conditional use application approval, which requires final approval from the CRB. The minor conditional use application review requires the applicant to meet our public art criteria and public notice requirements in accordance with the city's land development code, and the application has met both requirements. The proposed mural will be on the exterior southern, western, and eastern walls of the Flagler Park restroom building located at 221 Southwest Flagler Avenue. The artwork will be highly visible to both vehicular traffic and park visitors. It'll be seen from Flagler Avenue, the basketball courts, the playground pavilions, Hudson's restaurant right there, and then Flagler Center. So it's ensuring a strong public exposure and engagement to see this mural. The proposed mural is titled Heritage Vitalis and is designed specifically for the city of Stuart. The artwork is intended to enhance the public space while highlighting the ecological significance of the St. Lucie River. The mural aims to inspire residents and visitors to appreciate and protect its vital natural resources. The design reflects an enduring spirit of historic downtown Stuart by integrating the elements of the city's maritime heritage, natural environment, and cultural resilience. And the project is expected to increase public engagement with the arts and enhance overall quality of life and foster community pride. The proposed mural correlates well with the surrounding murals in the historic downtown district, such as the House of Refuge at Sunrise, Welcome to Stuart, Happiest Seaside Mural Town, which was just done, and then the Old Colorado Inn, Then and Now. The artwork will be executed by Samara Ash, who brings over 25 years of experience producing large-scale, high-quality murals. And the Arts Council of Martin County reviewed the rendering and recommended approval of the mural. They believe the proposal is fitting for the location of the Flagler Park, and vibrant nature elements are a good addition for the weekly market on Main Street. In 2025, Stuart Main Street received a letter of support through resolution number 02-2025 CRA to commission a mural at the proposed location. The letter enabled Stuart Main Street to apply for a grant funding to support the selection of the artist and creation of the public art. As the mural is proposed on city-owned property, the grant application required formal support for the project. It's also important to note that Stuart Main Street received additional letters of support from the Martin County Tourism and Marketing Department, Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council, Downtown Business Association of Stuart, and Martin Artisans Guild and Hudson on the River. At this time, staff would like to request a motion to approve the proposed mural subject to the following conditions. The project shall comply with the attached mural rendering in Exhibit D. And at this time, if you have any questions for staff, unfortunately, Candace from Stuart Main Street is out of town, but she did ask Christopher Vitale, who's a member of Stuart Main Street, to be present for today. And then also the artist, Samara Ash, is also here if you have any questions about the artwork itself.
Does the petitioner have any comments? No comments? Okay. Any questions from board members to staff or petitioners?
I do. Not so much a question, but since this is one of the few areas where we actually have some say, it would be really nice if we could be provided with any artwork that we're going to be making a decision on ahead of time and be allowed to comment and maybe make minor revisions like we did on the last art project. We had, a number of us had some differing ideas, and we had no opportunity to say, give us 2 or 3 versions of this little section of it next month or next week, and maybe we can make a decision in between board meetings. But I just think it's one of the few things we actually have any authority on, and I would like to make a more involved decision. And it's like, yeah, okay, bam. and it's beautiful, but you know what I'm saying. That's my question or concern or whatever. It'd be nice in the future if we had the opportunity to see the art ahead of time and maybe make some comments. Maybe there's one little corner, like, why isn't this, why don't we do this, since it's more of a Florida native species of plant or animal? That's all I have to say.
Any other comments, questions?
I have one question. For as the maintaining of it, I know it was budgeted in to take care of it. How often will it need maintenance if it's approved?
So the agreement that the applicant signs is a 5-year maintenance agreement. So it needs to be maintained for a minimum of 5 years. But after that, you know, we do have other programs. We've had people come forward before to do a reseal through the business improvement grant program. So that's always an option, or to have it revamped or a complete new mural to change things up. So 5 years is our minimum.
5 years, so after 5 years, his comment of having the paintings brought before the board before they make a decision would be probably read into the minutes. So that would be a part of the minutes of the next meeting.
I would say that this is kind of your opportunity to do that as well. Because of sunshine, you wouldn't really be able to hear each other's comments behind the scenes. It would also, depending on the timeline, like I know for this specific grant application, Candace with Stuart Main Street is trying to get additional grants to cover the remaining expenses. So she had to meet certain deadlines with that. So I didn't get the application but 30 days before this, and I had to meet an agenda item deadline for this as well. So I think maybe it could be on an artwork basis, depending on what it is, if we have time to do that. But you're free to make conditions of approval at this time as well and discuss if you needed to make any changes. We can do that now.
I'm not an artist, so I'm not even, you know, it's beautiful. I'm not going to touch it. I just was curious about the maintaining of it.
Anybody?
To the artist for showing up. That's you live in Miami, so it's a pretty good little hike, and appreciate that. First question. I understand this went out for RFP. Do you know, we have some local artists in the area. Do you know if they, by chance, Jordan, do you happen to know if they received the request for a proposal?
I don't, because I was not part of that RFP process that was done by Stuart Main Street. I don't know if Chris can possibly speak on that for us. This is, yes, please. This is Chris Vitale. He's on the Stuart Main Street board, and he's representing Candace Callahan tonight.
Hi, how are you doing? So yeah, for the RFP process, the RFP was sent out to a pretty wide area. It was kind of across all of the state, but it was distributed, you know, to local artists, and it was basically open to anybody who wanted to submit a design or submit an application. We did get some proposals that were from local artists, you know, from here within the town, or at least kind of within the county. And we got some that were from, you know, Samara's area and Miami and beyond and even further away. So the Main Street board kind of looked at everything and reviewed all of those proposals and determined that Samara's was the strongest design for what we were looking to have done on that space in Flagler Park. Not that there weren't other talented artists in there, but the designs simply weren't as strong as Samara's, and she has a really great experience with a lot of other public art installations throughout the state. She can probably speak more on that if you'd like to hear more about the different projects she's worked on, but she has great experience, and yeah, we just felt really strong about her proposal, more so than we did about the ones that were maybe a little bit closer to home, I guess.
Okay, because we have a couple of nationally recognized artists here, you know, be it Mr. Smith or Mr. Hoffman. And Mr. Hoffman's done plenty of, you know, marine type of paintings and such. I didn't know if they, like, for example, I never saw, I'm not really an artist, but I never saw, you know, a request for proposal. So I didn't know how wide and diverse it went out. I'm hoping those individuals got a shot at it. And that's just why I ask. So second question. I see in the agenda packet, there are many letters of recommendations. from different individuals. They're all dated, well, most of them are dated in August 2025, give or take a few days, scattered about. Did they see that? I'm guessing that was just a letter of recommendation to do some artwork. They probably didn't see the artist's rendering at that time in August. Do you happen to know that?
Is that right? Yeah, so the proposals were sent first, and then the letters of recommendation came in after kind of this process was initiated. Then all of the artist designs came in. So yeah, I guess whoever the businesses are or the individuals that submitted those letters of recommendation, at that time, the design hadn't been finalized, but they were expressing support to have the mural done and to kind of improve the facilities there and improve the optics of Flagler Park.
Very good. So we shouldn't confuse the recommendations to have a mural with the recommendations for this particular mural. It was just a recommendation from these individuals for a mural. Okay, very good. Now, I do have a couple other questions. And I know I'm going to sound like a critic of an artist, and you don't want to be a critic necessarily of an artist. It's their work. And I did do some research, like the Echoes of Resilience you did in Lakeland was outstanding, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not an artist. Okay, so, but there are some questions I had. Like you one of our fellow board members mentioned the maintenance. The maintenance cost was a $4,500 estimate. There's a lot of estimates involved. And it ties back into what percentage, were they just trying to ratchet up the cost to make sure they can get a max match of $3,000? I don't know how that works. What are your thoughts, Jordan?
My thoughts are the mural overall cost is over $18,000.
Right.
And so our match is only 50% up to $3,000. So they're only getting $3,000.
Okay.
And based on our experience with past murals, Christopher has done 2 himself through this program. It well exceeds typically our match.
Okay.
So that's not a concern of ours.
All right, so that's not a concern. And the maintenance cost hopefully won't cost $4,500.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll hold up just fine. I think, oh, yeah, there is one major one here. Now, I tend to be a little bit, whatever, I don't know, a little detail-oriented or whatever. I like fishing. And since this is the sailfish capital of the world, I would hope that we'd protect the integrity of the sailfish. This particular sailfish in that illustration that I saw looked kind of like a hybrid between a dolphin or a dorado mahi-mahi and a sailfish. And I'm not sure, maybe the artist can answer the question. What was your thinking behind that kind of a hybridization of this particular fish? Or are you aware of what the sailfish actually looks like? And are you, within your range of artistic freedom, would you be willing to maybe make it look a little bit more like the sailfish? That's what I'm asking. So if you could answer. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am very happy to be here. I've painted many of the cities nearby. For the past 25 years, I've had a chance to be able to paint not only in the United States, but also in Europe. So it's a pleasure to be able to be in Stuart, because I hang out here quite often. I also have land in Sebastian, so I come eat here quite a bit. You have good food, by the way. So there is a short presentation. If you wanted to, I could share that with you. In regards to the piece itself and the marlin, I did want to focus in using old Florida hues. You know, when we used to look at those plants and those like animal drawings, and it had like pinks and it had yellows and all that. So I wanted to show my focus in loving history in a new way so that the youth might be up to asking questions in regards to history without it being right in your face. So that's one of my tactics on getting younger generations to be able to desire to ask more about the piece. I can make a few changes. The rendition itself of the fish, I know those are not the actual colors, but I can definitely make changes in order to go ahead and make it look even more like a sailfish. It was more like a few tactics that I utilize where I repeated certain patterns that are throughout the rest of the piece, and I added it to the fish, but it's more like a visual in order to make it have more sense visually. but that can be changed as well. For example, for Echoes of Resilience, the one that you mentioned, which was sponsored by Disney and done for the Florida Wildlife Corridor. And by the way, we won Best Mural in the World, top 15 for that particular mural. So that's huge for Florida. And we're getting awareness of these type of animals, our flora and fauna in Florida, as being commended in public art. Anyhow, I can make a few changes in order to make it look more like the actual marlin. It was just taking some artistic license in that sense. Yes. And I do have, by the way, a really short symbolism presentation. If you wanted to, we could easily go over it in order to fulfill many of the questions that you may have. Many of the symbol-rich murals that I design take weeks, almost a month, in order to be able to come up with these. And every single line, color, flora and fauna actually have a history behind it. Yet again, it's not in your face, in order for people to ask questions, to have these conversations, and hopefully to bring awareness to these incredible resources that we have. So I have some symbolisms there towards the end if you want. I can speak, it's up to you if you desire to do so.
Yeah, we're okay. That's good.
Okay.
All right, very good. Thank
Any
you.
more questions?
Appreciate that.
Go ahead.
I could jump here. I think what Mr. Laughlin is referring to is much more tailored than what you're answering. I think the biggest issue is the forehead of the fish. That's it. I don't think there's any other aspect of the painting that we're taking issue with. Just an Atlantic sailfish has a much more sloped forehead than that kind of.
Then the rounded Dorado look.
Yes.
I can
At least
definitely.
that's my understanding of the issue, and it was something I picked up on as well.
I just took advantage of this to give you more info for fun. I came all the way here, so I want to share.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Is this on? Am I good? Okay. I just want to say, and I've kind of been beating this drum for a while, we've got great murals downtown, but I'm really happy to see something that's not quite so literal and is a little bit more playful. I think there's a space for all of it, and obviously we're all going to have different opinions about the art that we like, but it's great that we would have a variety in downtown. I love the richness and color, and one of the things that I do like about it is, let's say in 5 years we don't update it and we don't maintain it. I think even if this fades, it's still going to look really bold and nice, even if it lightens with the sun over the next couple of years. The sailfish doesn't bother me. Sorry, guys. But if it's a sticking point to change the forehead, then that's fine. But I like that it's pink and it's not like every other sailfish that we have downtown, because we have a lot of them.
Anybody else?
I'll just do a follow-up.
Go
I
ahead.
agree. I like that artistic, adding a little bit different colors. Yeah, the forehead's one of it, and maybe a couple of stripes. It's just a minor thing, and the fins are off just a touch, but it's like overall, I totally like it. Do I sound really bad?
Yeah.
Oh, good. No, I'm not trying to insult you in any way. So
No, please.
Very
By the way, I actually have a question for you. Did anyone see the reference of the pineapple and everything that entails? Okay, just check.
Yes.
was that the very
All
day?
right, so I got a few questions. So is this going to be painted on the walls, or is this a mural that's coming in a roll and we stick it to the walls? What is it? What's the
It's
process?
hand-painted.
Hand-painted? Okay.
And in regards to
Could-
the maintenance, the materials that I will be using, the manufacturer's warranty actually extends its life from 7 to 10 years. But in order to be cautious, if later on, after the 5-year marks, changes or adjustments wanted to be made, then you have recommendations from me on how we can proceed financially and then all the steps as well.
Could you pull up the picture that shows the building and the park in the background? Yeah. And what was that one you flipped by just now?
That was just my recommendation.
No, there were three with pictures. Yeah, right there.
Those are the past photos.
Okay, next question. So here we are making a decision on art, and I'm here. I don't know what I'm hearing here. So this was presented to whom, and were other options presented? And you made a decision to go with this, and who made that decision?
Stuart, us as the city, we have been trying to have a mural placed on that building.
That's not the question.
So we commissioned Stuart Main Street as an organization to spearhead finding an artist to create a mural
Okay.
on this building.
Good.
Stuart Main Street then went out for an RFP process
Okay.
to get artwork options. And they selected as a board who the final one would come forward to us.
So there were no other options presented.
To the
It was
city?
this.
No, correct,
Okay, so that's it.
correct.
And they said, yes, we love it.
Well, now
Or
it's
they
here
just
for
they
you.
didn't see it. They just picked the artist. Is that
No,
what you're saying?
all the renderings for each of those, the RFP process went out. They selected the artist. That artist had their artwork presented as part of that RFP process. So
This-
Stuart Main Street could
This
choose what
exact
they
mural
wanted.
was looked at
Correct.
by Stuart Mason. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not known to play nice in the sandbox, so I'm not going to start now. Go back to the big picture. Yeah, that one there. So, in the past, I've been critical of man's art altogether as you try to compare it to God's art, which is the nature and the beauty of this place. And I don't know why we're worried about wrinkles on a sailfish's forehead. Gentlemen, ladies, can't you see this is like total, not even close to being realism? This is like from another planet. And go to the one in the park again, and showing the background. And so, for that to be sitting in the middle of God's art, okay, I find that to be totally offensive. It's total. It's out there, man. You know, it's just out there. And what's the name of the? And you titled it what?
Called Heritage Vitalis.
Heritage Vitalis.
Yes, it's in Latin.
And so, where is our heritage in pink pineapples and pink sailfish and pink anything?
Okay,
Where's
so-
the heritage? And Vitalis, what does that mean, Vitalis? What's your
Vitalis-
concept of that?
Vitalis is about life and all the water that runs through the location. Every single one of these plants and every single one of these resources that we have, if it wasn't for the water, we wouldn't have the guardian of the lagoon or the waters or the river, which will be the bird. All of these plants that you see on one side of the wall are actually details of the pineapples that were grown here, the agriculture that brought so much
Right.
diversity to the place.
Pink
The
pineapples.
the pink actually comes from the Florida old hues that we were talking about. I did a lot of research in regards to books, writings, and those
Okay.
kind of like older. But I do want to add one more thing.
Okay,
What
go
you
ahead.
see here is just a rendition. It's like my representation of what the mural would look like. If we go back to the other images where you can see my hand, please. So all of these arts that you see here are way more dynamic because they have the brushstroke, they have my hand after that. That reference that you saw is not gonna come out 100% the same because my hand goes into it. When you speak about God's beauty in the place and how it would relate to the park itself, I study the park in order for those colors to stand out. I actually stood there as the sun was coming up or coming down, and I selected some of those colors as well from the sunsets. So even though it might seem a bit flat on the rendering as an example, once I put the brushstroke, once I literally grab it with my hand and I go ahead and I paint it on, it's gonna have texture, it's gonna have depth, it's gonna have beauty, and that is where the Lord's work is gonna show, through that hand stroke.
So, okay, so go back to the big picture again with the background. So you're just told me what? That this is going to blend in beautifully with what's around it?
Well, because
How
we have
can you
so many
even say
greens.
that?
Well, that's why
Look,
well, also we have
so this doesn't represent what we're going to get at all?
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that I studied the greens and the blues that are surrounding the bridge where this will be located. The little park that's right there where the kids are playing, the little place where all the books are being placed, even the waterfront restaurants. The prominent color there are blues and greens. So in order for the artwork to stand out, you use complementary colors,
So we agree
in order
that
to...
is going to stand out and say, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Which is primarily the idea, to spark conversation between our youth, our professionals that are here as well, because after this, we're also going to do a lot of community involvement, where we will have, hopefully, conservationists, where we'll invite other
So you're
people to talk
painting this
about...
for the youth?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
um,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
this does not seem to be a productive conversation at this point. I think we've had several different directions
Okay.
the organization has wanted to go. My suggestion is we table it at this point. We ask Candace Callahan to appear next month, and then we can ask her some more detailed questions about the process that led to this. But I don't think, based on comments from the organization, we're going to be able to approve this at this time.
I don't, all I know is I'll be voting against it. That's all I know. And it isn't about you. It's about this. I think it started in the commission before the last commission. It seems like, why do we feel the need to compete with Provincetown and Key West, and we got to attract all the artsy-fartsy people in the world. Look at us, look at us. I'm just against that whole concept of changing our downtown to try to draw people from the outside to say, look at us. And I don't know where the board wants to go, but all I can say is I will be voting against this design.
I completely agree with you. If we were competing, that makes tons of sense. The beauty behind this is the idea to spark conversations in regards to nature and art. And it's just really one good way to be able to display that. But, we all have the right to see things in different manners. But when you ask me, do I make this for the youth? I actually can say that, yeah, I make it for God and for youth, because that is one great vessel in order for them to be interested rather than be interested in other things.
I have a comment. I think I don't see any problem at all with having art that isn't an exact representation of nature. You can look all around you and see the nature. Art, for art's sake, is beautiful, and it's a wonderful expression, and I think it adds value and it adds visual beauty. I don't have a problem with that personally at all. I think it's a beautiful art, and it does widely represent nature. You've taken some creative measure, which is great. That's art. It's not a photograph. It's art. I mean, I have no problem with it.
I just want to make the point that this restroom is pretty close to the children's playground in the park. And I don't know how much you all are at the park. When my oldest son was little, we were there every day. And as time has moved on, if you go and look and see who's hanging out at the park, it's mostly unhoused people. And for the most part, they're there charging their phones under pavilions. But the kids have kind of gone away. And other than on the farmer's market day, you don't see a ton of people other than maybe a couple folks playing basketball hanging out anymore. I think that artwork in general in this park could help draw people in and maybe get a little bit more foot traffic coming through the park, local foot traffic, people that live here.
It'll chase some people away too, so maybe that's what we're after.
And that's never my intention to chase anyone away, but I'd like to see more people and more diversity of ages and users using this park. And I think that putting a mural on this building will help draw some folks in and make it possibly feel like a little bit of a safer place to be.
I agree.
Can I get a motion to approve or disapprove this, or can I get a different motion?
Chair, if you would take a look at Section 6 on the blue outline, we need to close the evidentiary part before we take a motion.
Okay. To deliberate in public, asking them to cite the facts being considered and then to state their position and formulate a motion. So I'm closing that part of the hearing. Any public comment?
Chair, I have none.
No public comment?
I have none.
Okay. Again, any motions to either approve or disapprove this now, or any alternative motions?
I have a motion, and I don't know how to perfectly word it, but that maybe some minor changes can be made. I don't want to see it more naturalized. I think the art part of it's beautiful, but maybe make the sailfish look a little more like a sailfish. And any other ideas that the board members may have to make minor adjustments. I think the overall flavor of it is beautiful, and maybe some minor adjustments, and then we can revisit it either in between meetings or next month. My motion. However we properly word that.
So your motion is to approve with
Pending.
for next month, or you want to make a motion to approve with minor adjustments to the sailfish?
I make motion to approve it with minor adjustments that we have an opportunity to review before final approval, yes.
I'll second that motion.
Before we vote, I'd like to comment on that. My suggestion is we table this for 1 month, and we don't start down a path that we might regret later on. There's no downside to pushing off the vote 1 month until we get some more input here.
Yeah. Chair McChrystal.
There's a motion on the floor already, right?
Right. Well,
It was seconded.
I would agree with Board Member DeBerard that you either need to
As do
table
I.
it or you need to approve it with conditions, but not to come back. That's tabling it in essence.
Right.
Okay.
I just think it needs to be clear. You're either approving it subject, you need to make the conditions that you change the forehead of the fish and any others,
Yeah.
or you table it to bring back at the next hearing, or next meeting, sorry.
I'll withdraw the motion then.
Does that impact any of the grant application deadlines?
I mean, yes, because you got to approve the artwork before you can approve an agreement. But, well, actually, technically, the next agenda item is an advisory position to the CRA. So you would be making a recommendation, but it would be difficult since you haven't approved the art to approve the grant agreement on it.
Mr. DBR, did you have a motion?
Yes, I move that we table this for the next month, that we ask the artist to make the revisions that we discussed today, and that we ask for more representatives from Stuart Main Street to appear to give us kind of the procedural background and how they arrived at this decision for this artist and this artwork.
Any seconds?
I'll second it.
Thank you, sir. Do you need a roll call for this?
Yes.
All right.
Vice Chair Moser,
No.
Chair McChrystal,
Yes.
Board Member DeBerard,
Yes.
Board Member James,
Yes.
Board Member Manera,
No.
No, you're not going to.
No, the artwork would need to be approved in order to move through.
So we do go on with this one.
We cannot do the next
Okay, all right,
agenda item.
gotcha. All right. Moving on to,
But I think we need to continue it, do a motion to continue it to the next board meeting as well.
okay. Can I get,
That motion.
I'll second.
thank you very much. All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Action item number 4. It just keeps getting more fun. Backyard, Lee, would you like to read this again? Sir, thank you. And this is not quasi judicial, correct?
Correct. You're
Okay.
in the legislative capacity.
Thank
We
you,
are
sir.
not.
Okay.
All right. This would be amendments to the Land Development Code. So ordinance number 2552-2026, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Stuart, Florida, amending the city's Land Development Code, Chapter 2, zoning districts, uses allowed, density, intensity, Section 2.06.00, supplemental use standards, to add a new section, 6.06.24, backyard chickens in certain residential zoning districts, and to amend the city's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8-Animals, Article 1, in general, Section 8.2-Livestock prohibited in the Stewart's Code of Ordinances by removing certain provisions related to allow backyard chickens in certain residential zoning districts, providing for the repeal of prior ordinances and resolutions, providing for codification, providing for severability, providing for an effective date, and for other purposes. And again, you're returning back into your advisory
Right.
role on this one.
And Jody, do you have a staff presentation?
Good evening, board members and members of the Community Residential Board. I don't actually have a presentation. This is more of a land use text amendment to allow backyard chickens within the urban areas and other residential areas. This would be on February 23rd, 2026. The City Commission directed staff to prepare the necessary ordinance to allow backyard chickens within certain residential zoning districts. The City Commission recognizes a growing trend towards sustainable living practices, including a desire to incorporate fresher, locally sourced products into daily diets. Additionally, there is an increasing interest in providing residents with opportunities to engage in small-scale backyard food production. Allowing a limited number of chickens on residential properties supports these objectives by enabling property owners to produce eggs for personal consumption. The proposed amendment would permit the keeping up to 4 chickens as an accessory use on occupied, detached, single-family, and duplex properties within the R1A, R1, R2, and urban neighborhood and single-family detached zoning districts within the East Stewart neighborhood. This would be subject to the terms and conditions outlined within the draft ordinance. Staff is requesting the board forward a recommendation to the City Commission for approval.
Any discussion from the board? Discussion from the board? Any comments? Anyone want to touch this?
Yes. I have some things to say.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Absolutely, ma'am.
I
You
have
go
a few
for it.
things to say. I certainly have made a number of phone calls to the commissioners to move this change forward. As I understand it, this actually previously passed years ago, and then a commissioner rescinded his vote, I think at the very next meeting, something along those lines. I don't know if I have the story exactly right, but so this has been in the talks or in the conversation for a while. As a person who was unfortunately trying to purchase a home in the city of Stuart from 2020 to 2022, I had to look at a lot of homes before before I finally got an offer accepted. And what I noticed was, I would say about 25 to 30% of the houses that we went to see already had coops in the backyard. Chickens were mysteriously missing during the showings, but I already saw a lot of coops. And as I've gotten to know neighbors, I know that a lot of them have had chickens, and for the most part, their neighbors are totally fine with it. I'm going to be really honest here. I have chickens in my backyard. I've had them. I know I'm putting it out there. Wow. They might have to go live in my parents' house for a while, but I got them about 18 months ago with all my neighbors' permission. My 2-year-old son loves them. He's had them since he was 6 months old. We eat the eggs every day. We use our food scraps to feed them. We compost their manure into my vegetable garden. For the clerks that got flowers today, those were fertilized with my chicken manure. I wanted to address a couple of concerns that I know I generally hear from people. And I will admit to you, I am a country girl. I was raised on a small farm. I have had every type of livestock that there is out there. First is noise. The chickens, the female chickens, which is what we're talking about here, they really only make noise when they're laying an egg, which happens about in the middle of the day, early morning, midday. It's a couple clucks, and then it goes away. As long as they're not being attacked by anything, they're not making noise. The crows on my street make 100 times more noise. The dogs in the neighborhood make way more noise. Smell is another one that folks are often concerned about, and I get that, because when you're on the interstate in Florida or Georgia and you pass a giant chicken farm, it stinks. But when we're talking about 4 chickens or less, there's really no smell, and you're all welcome to come to my backyard and check that out. This is a great education opportunity for kids, and this is one of the things I'm more about moving from Lake Okeechobee into the big city as we think of Stuart. I know we all think it's a small town, but kids don't know where their food comes from anymore. They don't understand that chickens lay eggs, and that's where they come from. They think they come from the grocery store. Another point with kids is if you grew up in the country like me, you grew up in the 4-H program, and that is a great life skills building program. Having chickens in the backyard lets kids have that opportunity, and I do know there's that opportunity to be taken from them. Like I mentioned already, the reduction in food scraps. I've seen studies in other countries where they actually measured, if they gave out chickens to everyone in the city, how much of a reduction they got in food scraps, and it was really significant. It's a great way to take your vegetables that you're chopping up for dinner and feed them to your chickens. It's free food for the chickens, and it makes your trash a little bit less smelly. And then last, like I said, the composting element, not having to buy fertilizer and using something that's made in your own backyard. So cat's out of the bag. I've got chickens. Come and get them if you want them. But know that my 2-year-old would be very sad because the highlight of his day is going out there to collect eggs every day. And then I just had 2 comments. I think that the standards that we've created here are great. I've got 2 sticking points. First is that max coop height of 6 feet. My husband's 6'8", and we built our coop so that we could walk into it. And he can't fit into a chicken coop that's a maximum of 6 feet tall. So that one's a little bit tailored to me, but I do think a lot of times we think of those little tiny coops. I wanted to build something that was big enough for my chickens to move around in and that I could get in and clean it out easily. And so 6 feet might be a tad too short. And then the other was the 6-foot tall fence. I was wondering if you guys would be okay with recommending it be 5 feet tall, and I'm not gonna fight a hard fight on that one. But I also wanted to ask if we could include the idea of a hedge as an alternative to a fence, just because I don't know if any of you looked at fencing costs lately, but they're pretty high. So, you know, you're asking folks to make a couple grand investment in just the area around their coop alone before they can get their eggs. And that's all I've got.
Next, anybody?
So I have a question. So is this a citywide change or just East Stewart? Citywide.
Citywide.
So everybody in the city of Stewart would have, if we passed it, would have the opportunity to have chickens in their yards.
In the certain zoning district.
That's the other problem. What?
Single family and.
Yeah.
Single family and duplex.
Makes sense.
Is that all?
My issue would be the smell and the noise. You know,
I promise, come on over, you will see
Yeah.
neither.
Yes, sir.
I think that the noise issue is the roosters. I mean, if you could keep them segregated somewhere in a soundproof box, everybody would probably be a little happier about the noise.
it's a rooster.
Well, this is correct me if I'm wrong, this is only for female chickens. This
Or
is
female chickens, no males.
no roosters allowed.
Well, that's.
Okay, so that.
I hear what you're saying about the hedge, but a lot of people are going to say, well, they're going to fit through there and run into the neighbor's yard.
Well, that's not, correct me, or maybe you can explain it, that's not their coop. There's a coop, and then they're saying that there needs to be an additional screening fence from the road or to adjacent neighbors. Is that?
Like a
Chair.
secondary buffer, I think, right?
Yes.
Get out of the
And I think a buffer is a great idea. I'm just asking for a little flexibility.
Yeah, fences are expensive.
Step on up here.
I make a motion that we approve with Ms. Mosier's modifications. 5 foot and then opaque screen being added to the definition, including a hedge.
It says opaque screen.
I didn't,
Said you didn't like the 6-foot height, but what height? I know your husband's 6'8". Are you recommending a specific height?
Can we do 7? I doubt most people are going to build a coop that tall, but for the height blessed, I guess 7
And
would
a
be nice.
cupola, or weather vane,
Yeah.
with a chicken on it.
so we have a motion. I didn't get to discuss any of this. Do you have a second on the motion for discussion?
I'll second.
Okay, now can we discuss?
Yeah.
Okay. Question first, because that's the first thing I looked up. So chickens can lay eggs without roosters around, correct?
Yes.
Obviously. All right. So that's just, I'm wondering if that was genetically engineered over time, because it doesn't seem like a natural thing. But I'm guessing over the years that was, yeah, no, it's always been that way. Birds lay eggs.
I could tell
just
you how it
random.
happens.
Huh?
How the chicken legs, the hen has an egg without being fertilized.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah.
Amazing. quite efficient. Without getting into great discussion here, this has been obviously discussed by many communities, and I happen to think that Martin County got it right in not allowing this in residential areas. I just did a small poll myself of some of my neighbors, and the response I got was, "Are they bringing that up again?" So, St. Lucie County allows it. Martin County does not. I think Martin County got it right, and without going into great discussion, I'll be voting against it. That'll be my vote. So, did we get a second on Mr. DeBerard's? Yes.
I
think there was some
second.
additional
Okay.
Comment.
I got more comments?
Yeah,
Mr. Chair, so
Yes.
I'm just afraid that, to use the quote expression, that this will just lead us to a slippery slope. So if we allow chickens, why not allow pigs?
Because pigs stink.
But I just see that happening. If we start down this road, allowing chickens, somebody's going to come and request to change the ordinance that we could have pigs in the neighborhood. Just make it all agricultural and be done with it.
my thought,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
my thought is, I can see what the benefits of what you're saying and all the benefits to it, but not everybody's going to be as
Cost of
conscientious
eggs
as
these
you. There's
days.
going to be some really sloppy chicken coops around, smelly, rats, rodents. Do we have to add another layer of enforcement to keep these in good condition and sanitary?
It's in here.
Okay,
There's an annual inspection at the option of the city,
okay,
and the permit can be revoked for a number of different reasons in subsection D.
okay. I didn't see that.
And then,
That's good.
And who's paying for that? The extra bureaucracy and the extra, I guess the taxpayers, obviously, right? Okay. But that road of,
Chairman Crystal?
yes,
So there would be a fee attached to the permit, a minimum fee
I see.
just for staff
Okay.
cover time throughout my
I got you.
department.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. All right, so we have a motion on the floor, which is again, Mr.
Can I
B, what is it
out
again?
of curiosity, I did not see the fee in the wording of that. Is it baked into the language, or do we have an idea what the fee would be?
Right now, it would be a zoning fee of $65 based off of our fee schedule that we adopt through the budget. It's through a master fee schedule that we have
Every year it's
every year.
voted on by.
Annual?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I would just want to read the motion so that we have it. It was the 7-foot coop, 5-foot fence. That's the one you weren't fighting too hard on. And then hedges, add hedges as well, instead of just the fence itself.
As an option to the fence.
Correct.
Yes.
Those were the conditions? Perfect. Okay. I could call roll whenever chair tells me.
Another comment? maybe?
Surely, go ahead.
We have a city manager who I think spent time in Key West, correct? And I think there's chickens down there. Can you, would you mind maybe, or roosters, a lot of roosters down there. Could you share some of your observations and maybe what you've heard while down there? Put you on the spot, sir.
Chicken war story.
Yes, chicken war story. Here we go.
Like Giardino, city manager. It would only be personal, and it would not be professional opinion. It would only be my own. And of course, the part of the ambiance of Key West are those chickens. They're loose. They roam freely, unfettered, without control. Roosters in the trees, in the parking lots. In fact, I relayed today to staff that I watched chickens eat chicken bones and flesh in the Kentucky Fried Chicken parking lot in Key West.
Love chicken.
So, I mean, from that perspective, like a feral cat or any, they could be a nuisance. But so that's Key West. But it's, I don't think it's what we're talking about here today.
Okay.
I do not see the relation between what happens in Key West and what we're talking about in Stuart today.
Very good. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that was my other concern, and I think maybe here as well. Would it attract coyotes and things of that? So the cleanliness of it all would be key. I also support the idea of many of the points that Bonnie, our fellow board member here made about just children interacting with animals. It gives them a great advantage. And I've taught in urban schools, I've taught in rural schools, and there's a difference. Kids that are around animals have a much better attitude and a much friendlier way of approaching things. So there's that tremendous benefit that, as long as people aren't attracting coyotes and are not letting the stank get too bad, and if we can hold the line at that point and not let the hogs come into this place, we should, I think it would be a big, in my opinion, and the fresh eggs would be a big plus for people who wanted to go down that road, and it wouldn't be for everybody. Nobody's being mandated to do it, and if you want to do it, you got to pay the fee annually. So,
Plus, the kids have a better immunity when they're exposed to nature and animals.
I like this single-family home, but the duplexes, I don't know.
duplexes might be tough.
See that?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a little tight.
You might. I grew up on a farm in Canada. I grew up 1,000 acres. That doesn't bother me, but someone that has never been around animals, and then you bring in a chicken coop right beside them, and they just have a privacy fence separating them. They may not like it. Then you're bringing in coyotes, foxes, other things. It doesn't bother me, but if someone that's not used to that, it might frighten them.
The neighbor.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We need to do roll call on this one? All right, thank you.
Board Member Whalen?
Yes.
Board Member Laughlin?
Yes.
Board Member DeBerard?
Yes.
Chair McChrystal?
No.
Vice Chair Moser?
Yes.
Board Member James?
No.
And Board Member Manera?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
I'll get eggs.
Can we come by and get some eggs?
Bring them next meeting.
I forgot to ask for public comment. Any public comment? All right, any staff updates?
No, sir.
Any chicken?
Would it be appropriate to ask a question about some of the topic? Or would you rather ask me, I'll ask you after the meeting, Jody. Okay, thank you.
I have
All
an
right.
answer for you.
So, any staff updates? No?
No, sir.
All right. I would like to announce the adjournment of this mighty fine and fun meeting. Thank you for coming, everybody.